Hey everyone, how are you? And this lovely Sunday, I was supposed to work. Well, I was supposed to have the day off. Then I was asked to work, but then I was told no, never mind, take the day because you're gonna be working extra next week. Okay, so surprise, I'm here. Yay! Um, am I showing? Looks like it might be. Yay! There I am. Okay, awesome. Hi, Coy. Hi, Mr. Black Wolf. Hey, AOH or OAH. Like dyslexic today. I think I don't know. Hi, Renelle. Hi. Oh my God. I already reset my router. Right after I published a stream, I was like, you know what? I'm not having an issue now, but I'm probably gonna. So why don't I just go do it now? So I did. So hopefully it's already been taken care of. I'm learning. This takes me a few years, whatever. But thank you for the reminder. Hi, Tiffany. Did I say hi? I don't know. I don't think I did. I don't know. I who's that? Oh yeah, no, I didn't. Okay. Why is it's like stuck? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, um, freaking it's hot in my house now. I'm stuffy. I can't breathe because we turned the heat on finally, and I don't know. And it's killing my head. Freaking killing my head. I swear to God. And it's hot. It's not hot though all the time. Like I go from like extreme hot to like extreme cold because like then the heat shuts off for a while and it's crazy. I hate this time of year. I prefer like coming from cold into warm rather than warm into cold. So, and I'm back to being stuffy again. Oh well. You're just watching Aaron's video from 2 days ago. I forget what I did 2 days ago. Was it an upload or a live? Because see, I did these uploads, the ones that I published today. I think I published two today, or maybe I don't know if I completed publishing the second one. I think I did, and then I published one like yesterday or something like that. I meant to publish them like last week, but I get distracted. A squirrel went by or something. Live. Okay. All right. Yep. Yep. Well, today we're going to do something a little different. I mean, um, we're still going to talk about Katie a little bit. I wanted to play some of her TikTok lives over from Llama's Twitter page there. Um, but I really haven't kept up much on the whole Bullhorn Betty thing. Like, I was first introduced to her, like, I don't even know. I think it was back in 2022, maybe, or early 2023, possibly. And I was not at all impressed. Like, I mean, I didn't really take much issue with her. I didn't really care for her. Like, she's not someone I would have been friends with had I met her in real life. It just someone I probably would have avoided. Um, someone is pretty much just that. And I know that, like, see, here's the thing though, too. Like, whenever I see or hear like rumors or whatever on YouTube, especially, but on any social media, take it all with a grain of salt because I've learned firsthand that so often I'll be told something and it will have the tiniest morsel of truth in it, but the rest of it will be entirely fabricated. So I kind of apply that possibility to anything I hear about anyone, basically, until I learn differently, until I learn differently. And so Bullhorn Betty's no exception there. So a lot of these things I've heard about her, I've really just, kind of taken with a grain of salt. But it seems like some of it's kind of true. Like, this is crazy with what's going on with these parents here in Tennessee. Like, okay, so I don't know much about this case. I don't know much about the Sebastian, the young man who's been missing, or like, I don't know, the juvenile has been missing. But from the sounds of it, and especially seeing that his birth father is highly suspect of his ex and his ex's new man, their husband, whatever. And that's like the last place he was, and he just disappears in the middle of the night like that. Like, yeah, I'm suspect. I'm highly suspect. I hate to say that, but I also I remind myself too of like John Benet Ramsey. For how many years did how many people were they convinced or just so sure that it had to have been her parents or someone in the family there? And come to find out, it looks like it wasn't, you know? So I applied that possibility too, I think. And that's why also I feel like that me as just some common citizen states away really shouldn't be putting my nose into it, trying to change the course of action or I don't know, create any course of action for this investigation because I am not a law enforcement professional. I'm not any kind of investigator. I'm not living in that state or that area or whatever. I'm not a relative, like I have no business trying to push any hand here, But I do think I have every right to give my opinion on it. Just as I think Bullhorn Betty has every right to give her opinion on it. Sure, absolutely. Even if it's an opinion that is not at all popular, she has every right to give it. My issue, though, where I think things went a little too far was when she pretty much left her house to do it. Like when she went to their neighborhood to do it, and she shows up wearing t-shirts or shirts with the dude's face on it and whatever. I mean, I don't think that she should I don't think it's right to silence her, but yeah, she's definitely harassing them, I think, I mean, she showed up there. She fucking like she's got no business being there. Like even if she were like an investigative journalist, which come on now, but even if she were, she would not have any business just showing up like that and doing the things that she's doing. Like no one is doing that. And certainly no one would do that and get away with it. And then to hear her argue in defense of herself for doing it, it's like, I thought Katie could like fucking stretch and pull together some bullshit, but wow, Katie's like, I don't know, like a first time yoga mat buyer, and Bullhorn Betty's like the fucking yoga guru with these stretches, That's what it looks. That's what I don't know. That's just what it looks like. It's crazy, but I wanted to jump into that a little bit today. So now I'm just coming into this too, so I don't know if I'm showing the best videos or whatever. Basically, I did a Google search, and I wanted to see if I could find some court records, but I don't know. As far as like the restraining orders, I don't know if they're public information. Tennessee's kind of weird, so I don't know. But for now, though, anyways, I thought I'd show some videos, and I wanted to start from like when she was arrested around there. So I'm starting. When was that? Like a month ago? Yeah, it was August. So it's not the video search. This is the video search. Okay. I'm just going to start playing videos here. I don't even know who I'm pulling up or whatever. Well, it does say here. Oh, okay. Oh, this is TikTok. Okay. Wait, let me share. Come on, I can't pause. Why are you playing it? Shut the fuck up. And it's only TikTok. Only TikTok who does that. All right, so this is from the channel or whatever page or whatever on TikTok. The internet is forever. Renee, it looks like her name is or whatever. Bullhorn Betty Andrea Lynn Griffin was arrested at Sebastian Rogers Vigil on Saturday for allegedly violating an order of protection granted to Katie Proudfoot. Okay, just a bunch of hashtags. Okay.
Bullhorn Betty, whose real name is Andrea Lynn Griffin, was arrested on Saturday.
So she got the protection order before she showed up there? Is that it? Did she show up there before? No, yeah, she did show up there before then, right? I need to learn more about this.
Saturday. Bullhorn Betty has been outspoken about Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, claimed Bullhorn Betty, BHB, had been harassing her, leading to the issuance of a protective order. BHB was arrested on Saturday, August 24th, during a vigil for Sebastian in Clarksville, Tennessee. Authorities say she was arrested and booked on a violation of the order of protection / restraining order. She was booked into the Montgomery County Jail and in the early morning hours of August 25th transferred to Sumner County. Tony Mathis reportedly bonded Bullhorn Betty out of Sumner County Jail. BHB and Tony were seen today at a protest in front of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. In case you missed it, Katie Proudfoot said Andrew Griffin, aka Bullhorn Betty, is inciting the public and her social media followers to aid her in stalking the Proudfoot family. Katie said BHB has also accused the family of harming Sebastian. Katie is quoted saying in part, "She threatens us and posts live while driving by our home. She is dangerous and is threatening my and my family's safety and telling her followers to help and do the same." Bullhorn Betty said, "If it is from her, then that is absolutely a falsehood. They can go and look at all my lives. My lives never come down off my channel. Driving on public property, on public roads with a camera hanging out, there's nothing unlawful about that. That happened over a month ago. It's the only time I've been in the Hendersonville area." There was mixed opinions on the arrest of Bullhorn Betty. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, a part of me wants to kind of be like freedom of speech, freedom of speech. And I do think that she should still be able to talk about the family. Um, I think that maybe they need to take other legal action too, like possibly like a defamation suit or something. Um, but yeah. Okay, so she's not a professional by any means. She's not a psychologist. She's not a law enforcement official. She's not a reporter, an investigator, or anything, or a journalist. She's none of those things. So she has no professional reason to be so persistent regarding this case, I guess. I don't know what else to call it, case, whatever. She has no reason, no professional reason. So that leaves personal or a hobby or whatever. Either way, it's a personal, it's a way that she spends her personal time because it's not professional. So this is this is going too far, I think. And like, think about this. I mean, okay, and I know like some people will be taking up the argument like, well, chances are they did something to hurt their kids. So, I mean, don't they kind of deserve it or whatever? And I don't know. There's an argument to be had for both sides of that. I'll see to that. But without being positive that they did do something or they're lying about something or they were involved, if you're not positive, if this isn't proven, then yeah, it's wrong because like I brought up earlier, the whole John Benet Ramsey situation. So many people would have bet their house on it that these parents were involved in that. And then, they would have lost their house. So it's very possible that you'd lose your house on this too. I don't know. But without knowing, this is too far. This is like vigilantism. And that's when like the whole world goes blind because everyone's just taking each other's eyes. So, okay. I did do that. Okay, these are all from a month ago, but they're all short videos too. I'm gonna play a couple that I already watched today. It has to do with court. Oh, new Mr. Ballin came out today. Oh, I gotta watch that when I'm done. Okay, so we have here my history. Wow, I watch my shit a lot, way too much. I don't even pay attention to it half the time. Okay, here we go. So there's a couple of channels I came across that I really enjoyed these videos that they made. So I'm just gonna pull from there. Um, right here, this was a really good one. I didn't finish it either. Oh, okay, cool. So this video is by Yep, YEP. No, that's not what I want. All right, so it's by Bullhorn Betty, manipulation in media, question mark, explanation point, whatever. So
something like, I'm just saying, don't overreact. Not just once, but repeatedly over time. Number two, they do things for you, maybe even things you didn't even ask
okay, we're
for,
gonna skip
and
over
then
this.
use that as current
criminal and quite frankly, very high on this platform.
attached. Number three, they might dismiss your problems and play up their own with things like, oh, you think you've got it bad? Try being me.
Oh, okay, I see what she was talking about. Okay, my bad.
And then use that as currency to get you to do what they want you to do. So every act of kindness seems to have strings attached.
Okay, so she's explaining like these tactics that you'll see common in examples of like manipulation media or media examples which exist to like push propaganda or try to sway public opinion, etc.
Number three, they might dismiss your problems and play up their own with things like, oh, you think you've got it bad? Try being me.
We're tired of the criminal conduct on this platform. So quit acting like fucking victims, excuse me, on a Sunday. Because that's what they're doing. Oh my God, I can't believe we're being picked on, we're being bullied. No, you're not.
What would the chances be that if that was a Sunday and she said that and today we're watching it on Sunday? I didn't even plan that.
You're getting your freaking desserts. You're just desserts. Karma is a bitch. Okay? Karma just is what it is, and it's your time for your dose. You guys have been rolling strong for 3 years with this criminal and quite frankly, very highly disturbing conduct. And it has reached an epic point that the entire world is seeing this nonsense, this disgusting ghetto behavior, and we are rejecting it, denouncing it, and saying enough is enough. So go ahead and cry in your little corner and act like you're a victim, but people have been watching you long enough to know that everything you're getting is just desserts. Now, let's get back on track. Never mind the constant harassment. I mean, think of the family that they harass.
I was just checking out chat here for a second. Yes, Mr. Ballin is awesome. Oh, Dash X, holy shit. Dude, that was an incredible tweet I read by you, like right before I went live. Like, that's amazing. Can I reiterate the tweet? Can I tell them? I mean, because I noticed like your tweets are like, kind of private, so I don't want to like start telling your business and shit if you don't want it out there. But I mean, that's pretty fucking amazing. Lots of people harassed the Landry family. Yeah, I agree. And am I'm getting spoiled. Okay. I said as much too when Bullhorn Betty and Molly, when they went to Georgia there, I forget what case that was. But anyway, when they went down there to protest or whatever, and I wasn't even sure like what they were protesting. It seemed like I from that what I can gather or what I did gather is that they were protesting the fact that the investigators, the police department, had not made any arrests yet. But I'm like, well, protesting isn't going to push it along. It's not like they're just sitting there like they don't feel like going to work today. It's protesting is just going to muddy the waters. I think there's plenty of things to protest the police about. Believe me, I'm not even disputing that. But this just doesn't seem like one, and they had every right to protest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but I just didn't see the point of it. And I still don't see the point of it. I don't see the point of it, whether it's the Laundry family or if it's the Proudfoots or whatever, because we don't know what's going on in the investigation, and we can't force something to happen just because we want to see it happen. We have no stake, no right to claim anything, no right to demand or expect anything. We are not the ones damaged here. Okay. The family is, the community there is, the victim is. Okay. So for me to show up, for example, in Tennessee and be like, I demand some shit, some action. I demand to see one of these people arrested and finally charged or whatever. I have no right. I'm not. Why would I be that fucking entitled? It's crazy entitlement. And I get the whole thing. Well, we all have to be voices or whatever for the voiceless, for the victims, for the kids or whatever. And that's fine. I get that. So you be a voice, but you can't go down there making demands of their community. Be a voice on social media, like so many are. Absolutely. So I don't know. That's where I stand on that shit. Quentin Simon. Thank you. Thank you. She's still in reply. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that, Dash X. She said I'm looking radiant today. Oh, okay. So Dash X posted on Twitter today. She has a hero cat. Her cat saved their lives. So she said I think she was making the bed or something like at one end of the house, and the cat was just bugging her, like kept trying to interrupt her and shit like that. And she was just like, shoot, go away, go away. And she thought like maybe she's like the cat's not can't get treats. I think it was treats or something. But then she thought maybe the cat just wanted a cuddle or something. But then the cat just was being oddly persistent. So she's like, all right, fine. So she gave the cat a moment, followed the cat out in the hallway, and there's smoke all the way down at the end of the house. The cat sensed and smelled and picked up on the smoke before any of the humans did. And the cat was like, yo, bitch, we need to get the fuck out of here. That is an amazing cat. That cat deserves like Friskies for life or some shit. No, Temptations. The cat Temptations, whatever. Okay, let me go back to this.
Because they thought they were recording in a courtroom because their sick heads said, oh my God, she said, oh, well, she's got to go back and listen to what Katie said. Because 2 content creators were in that courtroom and 2 of them explained exactly what transpired. Yes, I went back to both of those YouTube channels and listened because I couldn't remember what they had said. Oh, thank you, hiding from the world. Welcome to this crazy group we call the Coffee Club. So no, the harassment isn't coming from true crime. The harassment's coming from these hate and bully channels and have been coming from these hate and bully channels for a significant amount of time while they misinformed, had the disinformation campaign, and completely lied and manipulated their audience.
I forgot that she said that there. So in other words, like this harassment or whatever that's come about, like of the family or what the family's claiming, she is trying to put the blame for that on these harassment channels that are harassing her. That she's trying to say that like they're doing this because of me. It's because they hate me so much that they're bothering this family and harassing this family. And it's like, what? Which I mean, if anyone is contacting the family or whatever, I don't agree with that, regardless of who you are, why you're doing it. If you have something that's pertinent to the case, then you contact the law enforcement. You leave the fucking family alone. But yeah, it's not because it's not it.
Well, now you're on a national platform, cupcakes. So quit crying victim. Nobody believes it. It's falling on deaf ears because everybody's been watching your atrocious and disgusting behavior for 3 GD years.
What the hell is she talking about?
Now,
the fact that she's had 3 years tells me that she has someone very specific in mind that she's referring to.
Oh, as we're putting this case together, you guys have been helping me. Like I said, we're up at March 17th, and we need to kind of step back and go back to social media.
See, that's what kills me right there. As we are putting this case together. Okay, so like this reminds me of when I was in grade school. I want to say like maybe 3rd or 4th grade or whatever. And where I went to school was like it wasn't rural or whatever. It was like in between urban and suburban, I'd say maybe. But then we're going back a few decades, whatever. But where we went though, there's a house, like there were not many houses around, but the ones that were around were kind of, I don't know, shitty looking. But there's this one house that was like falling apart. Like there had been a fire or something in the house like years prior. So it was like almost collapsing in on itself. So one of the girls in my class though, she was all into like mysteries and stuff like that. So she started like this little group or this club or whatever, like girls or whatever. And we had to try to figure out like the mystery, the case or whatever of the house, someone who was killed in the house and who did it, and all that. And it was kind of like what is it? We solved the murder at dinner or something like that. I can't remember. I can't think of what they call it, but it's kind of like that, but for like 3rd graders. Okay. And only no one really pretended to die either. But, so that's what it was like. It was just really just a way to just like boss people around, I think, but whatever. I don't care. It's kind of like that. I feel like that's what this is. Only this is now in an adult version. involving real life fucking people and real victims and real loved ones. Only it's the people involved are doing it for the same gratification that they got, that myself and my classmates got in third grade. Okay. That's what I feel. I feel like it's the same kind of mentality, just on an adult scale. That's what this sounds like. So when I hear people like this saying, put this case together, or whatever. Now, if you're doing it as like a hobby or whatever, because like you just really enjoy following this shit and you like figuring out how investigators figure shit out and how they solve these cases, and you're amazed, or you're just even in a weird way amazed that people can do some real crazy shit. I get that. If you're doing that and you're doing it for the purpose of just talking about it with your friends or whatever, your viewers online, then fine. But if you're doing it is because you feel like you believe you can actually make a difference in this case or solve it, that's a different thing. And I get keeping the case talked about in media and social media, because the more it's talked about, the longer it's talked about, the more it's on everyone's mind, and the better off the chances are of somebody revealing something. Okay, I get that. But that's not one of those things where the more you put into it, the more likely it is to happen. It's kind of a fluke thing. You never know what's going to cause it. So that's not even a good reason to do this and get so involved that you're fucking with the investigation, the investigators, and the family. In my opinion, I know that there's a whole true crime community, a lot of people there who are going to disagree with me probably. And I mean, no disrespect. We can agree to disagree. I'm not shooting down anything you do. I'm all for it. I support you being on YouTube, doing whatever it is you're doing. I fully support that. I'm just giving my opinion on things. That's all.
And see what was going on in and around there, what was being said. And I know this has been heard before, but let's kind of start putting some of these building blocks into perspective. We know that this child disappeared on February 26th. We know that there was 3 intense days of searching before there was this internal dynamic that we could see, where the district attorney came out on scene. We're not used to seeing the district attorney unless there's a homicide, but they were out on the scene. They were out consulting with law enforcement, which is never a really good sign for somebody coming home well. We didn't quite pick up on that at that time because, to be honest with you, I'm accustomed to seeing a lot of DAs out in the field, out there with law enforcement, but it's usually when we're dealing with a homicide.
Okay, seriously, like how many cases has she like been there at as like a contributing member of the party there, the search parties, the media or whatever? Like how many has she actually like physically gone to? So it just seems kind of weird to be like, oh, that's never a good sign. We know this. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I would rather look at like statistics than a YouTuber's, recollection of a few cases. I don't know.
Victims, or for the example of Audrey Cunningham, when they were out there, they knew Stephen McDougal was responsible, and they were trying to find this child, and they were consulting with the DA most likely about how to handle evidence, what evidence they need, what they need to collect when they're out there to help solidify the case against Stephen McDougal. There's a lot of conference that goes into the state attorney and local law enforcement because they have to partner together in many of these cases to build a proper case that can be heard before a jury.
Yeah, but they don't go out there with like a list of things to look for. Like they don't sound like people out there looking in woods or whatever saying, hey, okay, you need to find this, like it's a scavenger hunt. Okay. You go out there and just look for anything that might possibly be some sort of evidence that's relevant to the matter at hand.
But in this case, there were some things going on. We heard that, this is what we heard. We heard at the beginning, I remember the conversation, but it was rumor at the time, that Sebastian and his mother went over to his aunt's house for a few minutes. I heard that they originally had grabbed a couple of girls, a couple of the cousins out of the house, like they must have been sisters, or maybe it was the cousin and a friend, but I heard it was 2 of them, not 1. But now it's they went to pick up the niece, and they went to BJ's so that the aunt could grab the niece from them, which was really a weird dynamic on a Sunday. Like, where was mom, and why didn't she take her daughter with her when she left the house, I guess is more of the question. But I don't know.
That's not unusual. Like,
if this confirms the fact that they saw each other, and it confirms that it sounds like they went shopping together at BJ's. But the way it was stated by Katie about she went and picked up the niece, and then they met the mom, and they were there with family members. It almost sounded like there was additional family members with them, but it's hard to tell because of the way they talk. They don't ever it's always vague. everything's always vague with them. And I have a problem with vagueness in a case like this, because vagueness, especially educated people, know that gives them room to maneuver their story. The vaguer they are, the less information they get. When they're questioned by law enforcement, they can plug stuff in and then now make that the story.
No, okay. They're probably being vague with YouTubers because they're YouTubers. But when they speak, in private or whatever with investigators, then they are very likely more open about things, because they feel, even if they're like suspects or might be suspects, they probably feel a little bit safer with the information that they're providing, as opposed to giving it to like Bullhorn Betty here or something. I mean, they don't owe you anything. They don't owe the public anything. They don't owe anyone an ounce of time. They don't.
And I think that's what we were seeing a lot happen.
I don't know why I call it an ounce of time. No one would measure time in ounces. It was weird.
During these several interviews, up until we noticed that they started the interview process when the case took a public turn for criminal investigation and entertaining foul play. That's when all of the interviews started. And they were getting backlash from the interviews that after Fox 17, it seems like they just didn't want to do any more interviews. Then Nick Barris produced and aired the flashlight video on the outside of their house in the early morning hours of February 26th. And then a few days later, it was like scorched earth with Chris and Katie being on all these platforms, wanting these. The demeanor changed. They were a little more hostile in their commentary. They were a little more pointed and brash. Stuff that we didn't see in the first 3 interviews are now being kind of erupting out of them. It seems like the pressure, in my opinion, has built so much so because of the controlling nature of Chris. They had to get ahead of this. They had to self-preserve themselves because they don't want the world thinking.
All right, chat. I'm curious because I don't know a whole lot about this case, but now I feel like I really should know a little bit more about it. What, all you guys in chat, like what's the current like zeitgeist, I guess, of those following this case? Like, is it the belief that the mother and or the stepfather very likely did some shit, or no? Or is it, who knows? You know what I mean? I don't want to say it, do most people believe they did as opposed to didn't? I want to say, do most people believe they did as opposed to who knows? I'm really kind of curious. Now I want to cry, Dash X. Thank you, friend. I was thinking how people say cats live half in our world and half in the spiritual realm. And maybe it was my mommy who recently passed. Her and my kitty had a bond. Oh my God, I can't handle this. Yesterday, I didn't come online. I didn't stream or whatever. It was a rough day. I was supposed to have the day off, but I went in and opened, but I was out in time because I had a celebration of life ceremony to go to. Someone I went to school with and stayed close with, like pretty much since high school. I think maybe like the last 5 years or so was like the longest we had ever gone without speaking. Yeah, he passed away, and it was a very sad day, and I feel like all of this shit's like inside of me today, and it's I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your mom. I'm very sorry about your mom. Sorry, just checking out the chat here for a minute. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm very, very much so on the belief of like, let law enforcement do it. They could be ruining evidence or witnesses. Yeah. Because I mean, it's not just like it's not a game of checkers or tic-tac-toe conducting an investigation and trying to get a suspect to trip up or find proof or guilt or whatever. It's like a long-term like chess match. And when you have a bunch of people coming in, like, okay, you know that meme with the pigeon in chess, where like it's kind of like, arguing with an idiot. It's kind of like playing chess with a pigeon. Doesn't matter what you do, they're just gonna knock shit around the board and start around like they won anyways and shit all over the place. It's kind of like that, only you have 2 actual chess players playing against each other, and then a bunch of pigeons come around, start knocking shit over and shitting all over the board on them. That's what this is kind of like when a bunch of YouTubers, I think, get involved and start muddying the waters, really. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back here.
They had anything to do with the missing child. But see, that has overtaken them and overtaken
why they cannot attend, and that has really rubbed people the wrong way. One of the vigils that they did while at the school, Beach High School, they didn't even attend, and an award was given out to Seth Rogers at that particular vigil. Instead of the mom and stepdad being present to show unity and coming together for their very son that they say that they love and miss and
Sorry,
come home, they ended up going out to a motorcycle shop shopping for a motorcycle. And then we learned that they went to South Carolina to attend a motorcycle rally while their son was missing. This is very, very disheartening. This is not what.
How long after? I mean, yeah, I don't think I'd be able to go any time soon after if my son went missing. Like maybe I don't know, but I don't know. That is kind of fucked up.
What normal parents do when they have a child missing. And we're not even going to get into the step grandparents leaving a day after this child disappeared, which was highly, highly suspicious. And in my case, in my opinion, I truly believe that they left because they didn't want to be involved. They knew something was going on. They knew that somebody may or may not have used one of their vehicles in this situation. And I think they got out of Dodge as quickly as possible before they were questioned by law enforcement without getting.
Step grandparents. Okay. Really? I'm surprised if they come into town for this reason, or did they come into town for other reasons and then just, this happened. Okay, which maybe that's, I don't know. But no, I don't think that it's suspect at all that they left, that they didn't hang around. These are the step grandparents, first of all. I mean, yeah, they're going to care. And it may be even a case like, well, this isn't our grandchild. Really? Where is it really our place to stay and be this involved? That's a weird, I mean, I don't know. I try to put myself in their shoes, and my heart would, oh my God, my heart would be, so broken in everything for the kid, for the parents and shit. Yeah. But I don't think I would feel like it was my place to be an active or a main character in things. I don't know. So I don't think it's weird at all that the step grandparents left
their story together. That's what I truly believe happened. But just because I believe it doesn't make it so. That's just my opinion. This has been a crazy, crazy case from the beginning. And more people that get involved in this case, the more people that are intimidated and harassed off of the platform or away from this case. So much so that Dog the Bounty Hunter has decided to send out multiple cease and desist to these very content creators for the problems that they're causing in this case, the problems that they're causing for him, and the inciting of their audience to call in death threats to multiple people. I was a recipient of death threats that were public, and they came right from the stepfather's mouth. I also had threats from the content creators that he's associating with and just paid $1,000 to. I know that Tony Mathis has had his job called multiple times to try to get him fired from his job. We learned that Nick the Hat has been, his probation officer, parole officer has been called multiple times to have him arrested. These are real life things that these people are doing to people trying to help a 15-year-old boy and find answers to what happened to a 15-year-old boy. And when you trace all of this stuff back, which we are very good at doing, it all comes back to the mom and stepfather and the people that they're associating with causing these problems. That is highly problematic for a lot of people on these social media platforms, that they're trying to advocate for a missing child and they're being met with hostility and threats. And when you link those people back, you realize that these are all the people that are associating with and assisting, either for profit, under contract, or just because they like the attention of Chris and Katie. We have a lot of problems here in this case, and we don't need to add any more to it. So I'm very disheartened that these people have chose to take their platforms. And in some cases, some people that actually had common sense that decided to get on the pay rage train because it paid more money. And that's what we're seeing in this society right now on these social media streets. We need to kick drama out of true crime. We need to have victim focus.
The entire, I don't even know, like soapbox speech or whatever. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to get hung up. I want to keep this moving. But I want to go back to this and just count the number of I's. I mean, I thought that this was all about finding a missing child. Why are we talking? Why is she just going on and on about her? Why is she giving testimony to what kind of a person she is or what kind of a YouTuber she is or whatever? Like, why is this even being discussed?
Channels that are designated just for the victims and their families. We're not picking on the mom and stepfather. This is where the information is leading, and we can't help where the information is leading. It just leads where it does. So this is kind of the case in a nutshell. I hope.
So in other words, it's not it's not actually us picking on them because it's warranted in our opinion.
You guys continue to advocate for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, advocate for the truth, and the truth is ugly. And I do believe, in my opinion, the mom and stepfather are keeping information away from law enforcement and hindering their ability to find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Please let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to
I hope that that's not true, but I mean, I fully admit that it's possible. All right, so now this one. Right, this is more recent. It's from 2 days ago. It's from channel Michelle After Dark. Bullhorn Betty loses court battle against Sebastian Rogers' stepdad. Free speech denied? ?
Jumped on to a couple of live streams that I just set up briefly. They briefly went live.
Oh, okay, cool. Someone's in the chat with info. It looks like. Yeah, it's Doug the Bounty Hunter. Jesus, what the fuck? He's like the biggest grifter of all. I don't even care. They went on vacation through the step grandparents. Okay. Yes, that Doug the Bounty Hunter. Why would a bail bondsman be involved? Didn't the kid go missing in the way? Yeah, but he's kind of appointed himself some sort of, I don't even know, because he can find people who are actively trying to hide from the law. He somehow, I guess, thinks that he can find like possible like kidnap people or bodies or something somewhere. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, the dude, and don't get me wrong, I don't fault him for making money and doing what he did in his TV show, whatever. I go get it. I'm all for it. But he's jumping off of that to now into these cases. It's almost like he realizes that TV isn't what it used to be. So having a TV show isn't going to get him the clout or the bank or whatever that it would have gotten him years ago. So let's move on over to the next big thing, and that's social media, and let's get involved in that shit. That's what it feels like to me. And that's kind of grifty, I think. I don't know. It is. It just is. I don't know. Which, I mean, I guess it's still better to have people looking, even if for the wrong reasons, than to have less people looking. Okay, fine. I can submit to that, but I'm still going to call it what it is. You got to remember that the mother and stepfather left right after the boy went missing and left town very suspicious. Yeah, I never, you couldn't have dragged me out of my home, because I would be sitting there thinking every second I was outside the house, like, what if he's calling? What if he's trying to get home? What if it's something? I would have to be there. Physically, there would be like this invisible barrier preventing my muscles from walking my body out of that house for I don't even know how long. There's no way. I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't go anywhere, let alone on vacation. No, yeah, let's not worry about that. I saw some. They sent cease and desist to creators who were searching for Sebastian. Well, how were people searching for Sebastian though? That's what okay, like, were they just lending their efforts to these search parties? If so, I'm all for that. Yeah, even if YouTubers are like kind of making content out of it, it's tacky, but hey, it's searching. But if the YouTubers are not in coordination with any of the local people on the ground there, and they're just putting together their own search parties, they're constructing all of this shit specifically for content, yeah, then you might be causing more problems than helping. Yeah, exactly, Dash. It's a totally different skill set. Finding someone who skipped down on bail or something, as opposed to finding a missing child. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's very good at finding those people. I fully agree with that. Yes, they were searching in Tennessee, searching the woods. I don't know. What do you are like? Yes, like they were. The local people were organizing search parties, and then the YouTubers went and contributed. I mean, if that's the case, yeah, I'm all for that. But, and I mean, what were the cease and desist for? Like, they didn't want them talking about it on their channels? I mean, no, I don't agree with that. If that's the case, I don't agree with that. I yeah, part of me thinks it's tacky and shit like that, but I mean, even if you're walking through the woods with like a GoPro camera, I don't even know what people would use in the woods in some situation like that. GoPro is like the last thing I remember. So, but if you're doing that, then you just have more things that are being documented. That's not going to hurt anything. I don't think that's only going to help matters, because not only is everyone around you in the area itself being documented and preserved in this video, but so are the actions of that content creator. So if they do some fucked up shit, then you chances are you'll know. You know, I don't agree with that. They were working with authorities. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I don't agree with cease and desist for that. I mean, in Betty's case, like, I don't know what the like thing is that she did to warrant a harassment order. From the sounds of it, I would see the next video I'm going to play. You hear the judge talking about her showing up with like the dude's face on her shirt or whatever. I don't know if that happened before the order was written or if that happened right before she was arrested for violating the order. So that's where I'm kind of cloudy on, is what constituted the order as opposed to what constituted the arrest. All right, I'm going to start this. This is from, oh yeah, Michelle, I already said Michelle After Dark. Okay.
And I did it at a time when I didn't think many people would be online. I was just experimenting to see whether I could stream from both Michelle After Dark and Michelle Walks at the same time. It was just an experiment. So apologies for anybody who thought that I was going cuckoo or something. But anyway, that said, let's get into today's video. We're going to talk about the Sebastian Rogers case, but more specifically about the legal battle that's going on between Sebastian's mother and his stepdad against YouTuber Bullhorn Betty. Now, this is not about drama. Let me just be very clear. This is not about drama. This is about the rights of people to talk about true crime cases. Sebastian's case is in the limelight for this at the moment, but it could be any.
To the person who just texted me, but I have to ask, what are you paying more attention to? The stream or what's on your TV?
Number of cases where people come online and accuse parents or family members or someone else. And where does that line draw? So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's get into it. So the news channel, WKRN, were in the courtroom. So I'm going to play this short piece here, well, just part of it, to set the scene.
The last time these two parties were in court was in September for 3 different order of protections.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. I know, I'm sorry, but I just want to keep up with this conversation. So it said, or Mama T says, because they weren't on Seth's side. Seth, was that the father? No, Chris Proudfoot's the stepfather. Katie's the mother. Sebastian's the young child, or the young man, whatever. Seth is the father, right? Why? What do you mean they weren't on Seth's side? Like, do people think that the father had something to do with this? I thought that he had like an alibi or some shit, or like there was just like very, very unlikely, or very, he would have had a hard time like being available. I don't know, something. He had an alibi, we'll say. Huh. Okay. Because I do have to say, I found it rather interesting though that after after her court appearance here, after she was arrested and shit, that Seth spoke out in defense of Betty and kind of like bashed the judge for what he did. So I just thought that was interesting.
Against the YouTuber Andrew Griffin. And today, the judge added Sebastian's stepfather to the growing list of people worried for their safety.
So, orders of protection. We talked about this briefly previously. Bullhorn Betty has already been served 3 orders of protection to protect Katie Proudfoot, Sebastian's mother, and also his step-grandparents, the Bowersocks, who all have claimed that Bullhorn Betty has stalked them, harassed them, etc. Now, Chris Proudfoot has filed for an order of protection, and this is what yesterday's hearing was all about.
The nearly 4 4-hour hearing started with a reminder of First Amendment rights. Griffin said multiple times on the stand that she never directly contacted Christopher, nor had ever met him. She did, however, state that she would visit his neighborhood to allegedly get a better understanding of the layout and put up flyers of missing Sebastian Rogers. And at one point, she also admitted to going to Christopher's place of work. Christopher also sat on the stand and claimed he felt unsafe with Griffin broadcasting his personal life and private life. The defense aired a 9-minute video showing clips from Griffin's YouTube channel, where she insinuates Christopher knows how to hide a body and may have had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance. To be clear, law enforcement has not said there's any proof of foul play in the case. Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian and an advocate for Griffin, says the judge's decision to rule in favor of the protection order hinders the search for his son.
What I heard today is that you're not allowed to have free speech. You're not allowed to sit there and ask questions, you know, as somebody would say, the hard questions. And get an
What's going on in his head? I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm not being like Katie or whatever, you know, how she dogged Cody there at Garrison's funeral or memorial, whatever. But I mean, why? I don't get it. Okay, I said enough.
answer. Those are 2 scared cowards, in my opinion. And if they're going to try to take away one of my voices.
Is he like part Native American or something? Because then okay, then I get it, makes sense. But
they're going to have to get ready for my voice.
Oh, fighting talk there from Seth Rogers. Illuminati and her fiance were in the courtroom, and they said that Seth stormed out. He stormed out of the courtroom. He was absolutely fuming, I tell you, at the judge. He believes that one of his voices, you know, one of his crew, have had their opinion stifled. And this is against the First Amendment, and you can't do this. And anybody's entitled to say anything about anybody or do anything to anybody. Where does that line draw? Well, that line is very clear.
There's say and then there's do. I mean, I do think that there are some. I mean, I'm no legal expert. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that there's some like intrusion on the freedom of speech regarding all of this that makes me feel wary. Okay. But as far as like do is action, as far as like what I've learned thus far, I do see cause for concern there.
Clear in law. It is. We'll talk about that shortly. Now, WKRN have another piece on this and included some footage from the hearing. So let's listen to this.
In this temporary order of protection obtained by News 2, Christopher Proudfoot claims that Andrew Griffin stalked and harassed him and his family. The defense for Griffin argued for this First Amendment rights of the YouTuber, saying she expresses only her opinion and has covered multiple missing persons cases in a similar matter. Yeah,
she has, but that's a problem. Look at what her and some other YouTubers did to Don and Candice Wells. Now, whatever you think about Don and Candice Wells and whether they had something to do with Summer's disappearance or not, Bullhorn Betty was...
No, it's true. I mean, like, there's in sharing your opinion, then there's trying to incite people into feeling a strong emotion toward these people who are literal strangers to you and your life. You know, I mean, it's not even just like this case or any other. You see this everywhere. You see this even like amongst creators, amongst just people on social media.
Was one of the people who went to Don Wells' worksite and got him fired from that particular job. That's not looking for a missing kid, is it? That's harassment in anybody's book. Now, Don and Candice didn't file charges of any kind. They could have done. They absolutely could have done, but they didn't. But in Sebastian's case, the parents here are fighting back. Simple as that.
She never initiated direct contact with Christopher or had ever met him. In response, the prosecution submitted a 9-minute video as evidence of Griffin's prior YouTube videos. In one of the clips, you can see Griffin as she shares her opinion, saying she indicated Sebastian's mom and dad had the knowledge of how to dispose of the body. She added she believes they may have had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance. It is important to note that law enforcement has not said any foul play was involved in the disappearance of Sebastian. Christopher took the stand next, saying he felt threatened by Griffin.
When your client goes to my job, my house, my campsites, yes, that's stalking.
On that, you just testified to. Have you ever spoken or communicated with Mr. Proudfoot in any phone?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize him?
All my interviews on media as well as alternative media.
Are you talking about your interviews or other
I
interviews?
never met him in person.
After an almost 4-hour hearing, the judge ruled in favor of Christopher Proudfoot's order of protection. At this time, Katie Proudfoot and Sebastian's step-grandparents have all obtained protection orders against the YouTuber. Now, the YouTuber is set to be back in court on November 20th for 6 counts of protection order violation.
So November 20th, that hearing about the violations of Katie and the Bowersox protection orders was meant to be happening at the end of this month. So there must have been a continuance there. Bullhorn Betty has fired back. So in the interests of showing both sides here, let's listen to what Betty has to say.
We'll see where this goes. If hashtags are what's needed to throw somebody in jail this day and age, every last person on this platform and 945 people in this chat right now are in jeopardy of going to jail. That's what that judge just said today. Okay? So you need to think long and hard because your hashtags could have you arrested next. Your opinion about parents being responsible for the disappearance or unaliving of their child, you speaking that out of your mouth, could put you in jail here in America. This this is a very slippery slope. And this is a very slippery slope that county conjured up. That county, that so-called conservative county conjured up. So we are going to still fight, not just for my voice, but for Sebastian's voice, for Seth's voice, for Tony's voice, for all the victims' voices out here that are victims of these hate chants. We will not stop. This boy deserves to be found. We have a right to believe what we believe. We have a right to speak in America about our thoughts, opinions, and
I'm gonna, for this part of, where's it playing? I hit pause. We're gonna jump over to this other video to cover the part, the segment where she speaks after the court appearance. Right, so this is from Spitfire Spotlight. Yep, okay. Bullhorn Betty runs her mouth after court from 2 days ago. I'm just going to jump ahead to where Betty's talking.
There's a few things that I'm going to say. We're not going to take a whole lot of time because I just got back. I've had a very long day, as you guys can imagine. And there's just a few things that I need to say to everybody that's out here that has been supporting me, has been supporting Seth's team. And
she's got to sped up already, right? Because Betty's not that fast of a talker. I'm going to leave it right where it is.
More importantly, been supporting Sebastian. Today we took a little bit of a hit.
Sorry.
But it's going to hopefully be short-lived. We'll see how it goes. I will say that the corruption in Sumner County is a lot bigger than I had originally anticipated. All I want my audience to know at this moment is that we do have a plan. I don't want anybody worrying about me. We will be leaning on our audience here in just a little bit, and I'll let you guys know when that time comes. Hey, Ricky, it's nice to see you, my love. Nice to see you. I know everybody's been praying. I will tell you, as soon as we walked into the courtroom, we knew we weren't going to get a fair shake. Literally popped right out of the mouth of babes. So we kind of anticipated this not being very good. I'm an outsider. This is Tennessee. We know how Tennessee rolls. We know that there's corruption in these small towns. We know that the politicians and the people with big pockets are the ones that pull the weight in there. And we know we have a construction company that works there and develops property. And in Manatee County, developers have all the politicians in their pockets, the ones that.
Now, mind you, in court, she was told by the judge not to speak on this case, this family, whatever. That they don't even exist to you on your channels or some shit like that. He said, I don't remember exactly. Which I'll be honest, I don't agree with that. I don't. But I mean, if what she's saying is that bad and that harassing, then there should be an avenue in which to go about like prosecution for that or whatever, whether it be civil, whether it be criminal, I don't know. But I mean, if it's insightful or inciting or whatever, then there should be an avenue in which to rectify that. And it should not be one that seriously infringes on somebody's free speech, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, but what do I know? However, that being said, she, in my opinion, she may have a right to speak on this shit or whatever, but just because you have the right doesn't make it the right thing to do, you know? I mean, obviously these people are so worried and so concerned, so affected by her that they went to these extremes, and she's found herself arrested because of it. Maybe it's a hint that you might have gone too far. Maybe you might want to just care more about the harm you might be causing, even if you don't see it yet, rather than being right. I don't know.
That want money. They are beholden to their voters, not people that are non-voters. So there is, in my opinion, a political aspect to all of this as well. But my strongest message is that they're not going to take away my voice. They're not going to silence Sebastian's army. They're not going to silence Seth Rogers, his father, that's been fighting for him. And they're not going to silence the team that has been sitting here and working and advocating for Sebastian for a very long time. This is a case that was won on emotional grounds, not legal ones, in my opinion. And I believe that there is definitely corruption. We have found what we've been screaming for. You know, everybody always reaches out on every single case we cover and says, this town's corrupt, this town's corrupt. And we've never seen real corruption in town. I mean, outside of, you know, the typical political corruption of, the county commissioners taking taxpayers, raising taxpayers, having their friends, the silos of cash of ours that they keep, all this other stuff. We've dealt with that. We've uncovered that in the past. But this was totally improper, in my opinion. But long story short, it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. At this point, all that matters is...
What? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, for granted, I'm not all like overly familiar with Bullhorn Betty. I just have a hard time believing that she's gone about in all these like various different towns and cities or whatever and uncovered all of this widespread corruption. Like, I mean, I would think that there would have been TV shows made about her by now if she had.
Is that we have a plan. We're going to be executing that plan. And again, we may need the assistance of our audience. And you guys know that when it comes to assistance, we have an uphill battle here. If we don't fight this, in my opinion, then anytime we go into a community and cover a case and we sit there and believe that somebody is responsible for a crime, we will not be able to say that. We will not be able to have our voice to say that our rights to have our own opinions, our government's trying to take away from us.
No one's trying to take away your opinion. They just don't want you showing up like some overly invested, emotional person who doesn't really belong there and inciting people to go after the people you have already determined to be guilty when you have nothing to qualify you to make such determination. Like, that's crazy. That is fucking crazy. I mean.
So we're not going to stand for that. We can't. It doesn't matter whether people like my commentary or not. It's mine to have on my channel. It's the American way. And to be honest with you, I think that the ruling today was wrong. Now, what do we do from there? Again, I can't speak on the case any further than what I'm saying to you guys now, but I need you to trust and believe that there is a bigger plan out there, and we have a plan. And this is not going to be gone because a judge in a county says that a condition precedent, like proper service, doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? You can't go to B without A.
Was she trying to argue that she wasn't properly served?
Proper service is not something you play with, okay? You either have proper service or you do not. It is not one that they can say, oh, well, she knew about it and we gave her 24 hours or 48 hours to get here for it. That's proper service. No, it's not. So we're going to go ahead and work our butts off. We're going to find a way to continue to keep Sebastian's name alive, even though there is people out there that would love nothing more than this child's name never to be said and would love nothing more.
Who the hell doesn't want this kid's name not being said anymore? Like, seriously, who? I mean, people can still be all for like solving or finding Sebastian and be against her methods. It's not like, oh, if you're not with me, then you're against me, and therefore you're against all of this. I mean, I can't imagine that there are people out there saying, just stop talking about the boy. Let it go away. Let it go away. Like, no one's saying that.
Then this child to be swept under a rug so they don't have to pay the consequences of their actions. And they lied under oath and utilized a court system improperly with the help of a law enforcement body and a judge. This didn't start with those people. This started with the hate channels. This was all conjured up by the hate channels. The hate channels are the ones that did this. Okay, let's make no mistake what they think they've done. It's not going to stop. As you can see, the beautiful shirt that was made for me. I was light on.
You go live without pants.
That is the Bullhorn Betty.
Gross.
Way. That is absolutely the Bullhorn Betty way. And we are not going to go without a fight. We'll see where this goes. If hashtags are what is needed to throw somebody in jail this day and age, every last person on this platform, the 945 people in this chat right now, are in jeopardy of going to jail. That's what that judge just said today. Okay? So you need to think long and hard because your hashtags could have you arrested next. Your opinion about.
Seriously, how many times were hashtags listed as a cause or a reason for wanting a protection order, wanting whatever? I mean, seriously, how if every single person involved in this on YouTube, if they had all stayed at home and talked their opinion, would we still be looking at all of these cease and desist and this order and this arrest? I mean, think about this seriously. And I get that people want to contribute, want to lend efforts to help or whatever. I get that, but when you start making a spectacle of it and you start diverting all of the attention away from the actual cause and onto you and whatever fight you now feel plagued to fight, then you are doing more harm than good. You've made it all about you. You've made it all about your imagined victimization or whatever. Like, it's no longer about this missing boy anymore. Now it's about Betty's fight for free speech and rights and shit. And I'm not saying that that's not a worthy fight. Of course it is. But this isn't the right arena for it.
About parents being responsible for the disappearance or unaliving of their child. You speaking that out of your mouth.
could put you in jail here in America. This is a very slippery slope. And this is a very slippery slope that that county conjured up. That county, that so-called conservative county conjured up. So we are going to still fight, not just for my voice, but for Sebastian's voice, for Seth's voice, for Tony's voice, for all the victims' voices out here that are victims of these hate channels. We will not stop. This boy deserves to be found. We have a right to believe what we believe. We have a right to speak in America about our thoughts.
All right, so someone in chat here says they just stumbled across upon the channel, and what's it about? I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck it's about. I don't know. I talk shit about people, but I try to do it in a responsible way, if there is such a thing. Like, I don't want any hate on someone. I don't want to see anyone canceled. I fully support everyone being on the platform, even if they do shit that I don't like or agree with. I support their right to be here and doing their own shit in their own space. But I do think I can give commentary if I so choose, but, and there's a lot of content creators on YouTube that I don't agree with something they did, but I still watch them because I can take what I want and leave the rest and still talk on it, So I don't know. I guess that's what it's about. I try to be funny sometimes, but I don't know if that comes across very well. And lately, though, I've been really into writing parodies. Like, I wrote one not so long ago, and I'm working on another one right now, which at this point, it's just making me laugh my ass off. I don't know. That's what it's about. Nothing and everything. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Opinions and criticism without obstruction from our government. Without obstruction from our government, or our government telling you what kind of shirt you're allowed to wear or what kind of words can come out of your mouth. And that's what that judge told me today. That he's upset about my shirt that I wore.
No. See, okay, if she was in her house live streaming wearing that shirt, the judge wouldn't have even fucking known about it. Wouldn't have cared, whatever. Would not have been an issue. It's the fact that she went there and wore the shirt she wore, and as an effort, as a means to call attention to herself and this like righteous fight she's on against who she has determined, this person lacking all qualifications. So she is determined to be responsible for this crime, or if there was a crime or whatever is going on. Okay. That's the problem, because you are causing a disturbance in these efforts to find this missing boy. You are causing a huge disturbance. You are having everyone's attention diverted anywhere and everywhere else other than where it needs to be. And why? Why are you doing this? Why? I mean, if the whole point is to find the boy, then why wouldn't you wear a shirt with Sebastian's face on it?
My First Amendment right to clothe myself. I want you guys to think about that. And I want you guys to think about that very long and hard, that a judge, one single judge, can judge me and tell me I shouldn't have wore a shirt. That is a violation here in America.
It's kind of his job. I mean, he's a judge. He's one judge. He can judge you if you find yourself in his courtroom. He's expected to do that. It doesn't mean he's judging your character, although I have a feeling maybe he is, but he's judging your actions and your behavior. It's kind of why you're there. I mean,
absolutely a violation here in America. I have a right to clothe myself. I have a right to put any damn shirt on that I choose to put on. If my audience sends me a shirt and I choose to wear it, that is my God-given right here in America. My God-given right. As you guys can see, I'm a very strong person. I will continue.
It is. And it's probably someone's right if they want to walk around in a Nazi uniform from World War II or something, right? But what do you think that's going to do? What kind of effect do you think that's going to be on that immediate vicinity, that community, right then and there? I mean, it's going to be, you're going to be causing problems. You have a right to do it, but you might want to expect to get punched in the face, because even though it'd be wrong to punch you in the face, it'd be wrong for you not to expect it, though, too.
I need to be a strong person. My rights were violated. My rights were violated, and you could be next. We are going to put an end to this violation, this very significant violation of law, not just for me, but for other people that might be in my shadows in a year, in 2 years, in next week. Next week. We are Sebastian's army. We are Sebastian strong. We forge ahead. That's what we do.
No. Sebastian's army should be working and making efforts in finding Sebastian. That's what they should be doing. They shouldn't be forging ahead in this fucking fighting for rights against a judge.
that are supporting this boy and are supporting his father, no exception. No exception. People can watch me all they want and they can talk crap about me in their own chats. They can plot against me. They can threaten my life. They can dox me. And then they can turn around and lie under oath and say I did it to them. That is a shame. Process, service of process is not an option. Okay? Proper service is the only way to go from point A to point B. Without point A being done, you cannot go to point B. And that's what that judge did. He jumped over A to get to B. So I just want everybody to know.
So you're mad because he played checkers? I don't.
Thank you for your love, your support, your prayers. I know a lot of people felt down, and it was just like the day that I got arrested. People were crying around me. And like I said, we've got to go through this walk. We are going to go through this walk, and we are going to see the fruits of this labor down the road. But this is a walk we as Americans must go through, because if we don't, somebody else will be next. Somebody else will be lied on and be allowed to be lied on without any due process whatsoever. A clear violation of law. So again, that's just my 2 cents. That's why I feel the community in the county there is corrupt. We do have a plan, and that is my statement related to this action. We will no longer be discussing any type of legal stuff. But from this point forward, we're getting back on track. We're going to be advocating for this young boy. We're going to be strumming up leads. We are going to keep those leads out of that county. We're going to give them to the FBI. If they want to filter them back down, they may. But we are done. They don't want our help. We'll go out and find this boy ourselves. Clearly, they're not getting off their duff to do it. Okay? No searches. So this was very, again, obviously, I'm upset about the ruling, but I'm also confident that it emboldened something a little bit bigger that will be good, the silver lining of all this. And you know, we live in the world of silver lining. And I hope to God that whatever plan we have is successful. Who knows? I have no earthly idea whether we're going to be successful or not. But what I can tell you is I feel like we have a good plan.
This is Caitlin Quisenberry has more.
All right, so I'm going to play one more video, and then I think I'm going to wrap this up because Michael came home early. It looks like I thought he was going to be watching the game with his parents, and we have some things that we have to do that I thought we were going to do later, but I think we're going to do them now. But there's one more video I want to watch for sure, and it's a short video. But here's where I think she kind of maybe, I don't know. I'll let her play. All right, this is from Hartley. Bullhorn Betty, liars and idiots most likely did something terrible to their child.
These lies from Sebastian's family. You know, this right here is taking me away, putting me in harm's way. There's a lot to say about that. I know these people don't care. They didn't even give a crap about their own damn son. So it's not like I expect them to care about me or my family. But I'm going to tell you what. This is what I'm going to tell you. After this stuff is over tomorrow, which it will be, because there is no possibility the court is going to let these lies go through and continue. I just don't believe it. There's nothing in my body, mind, and soul that makes me believe that a judge is going to have the wool pulled over his eyes like this and not be pissed off. He's about to find out that they lied to his face, including a detective. And I have to think that this just, no matter how you look at it, the judge never violated my rights. So I believe he follows the law. I believe the law is very clear. So when this is all over with, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be very, very angry, because I've got a hurricane that's coming to my house, and I've got to be here in Tennessee dealing with this bullshit. And I'm going to say it just like that, bullshit, taking me away from my family, taking me away from the good that we could do to help other people. But these people are selfish. They don't care about anybody but themselves and covering their own ass for the damages that they've done. The damages that they have done to their family, their own child. And I'm angry. I should not be here. I should be with my family. I should be making sure that my family, my community, and my friends are safe right now, as we've got a Category 4 heading our way. But no, I'm here in Tennessee dealing with these idiots. These lying criminal elements and idiots that most likely did something terrible to their child. So,
listen, and I'm not saying that they didn't. I don't know, but I know that I'm not qualified to make that determination or to state as such with any sort of certainty, one way or the other. Nor am I in any way within my power or whatever, my right to try to convince strangers and kind of enrage them, you know, because that's what she's doing. And okay, I feel like I'm just saying the same shit over and over again, but different ways to say it.
They've had every opportunity to stop this nonsense, to stop this charade. They've had every opportunity to tell the courts that they were wrong and that they lied, and they choose to keep going down this path. They have no evidence to support the claims unless they manufacture them, and that's even worse in a court's eyes than lying. So, because you actually had to go out of your way, you know? So I feel confident that this is going to go my way tomorrow. I feel confident that this is all going to go away. As much of what I said on August 22nd, if you go back to that, like I said, everything I put out there. I told you exactly what was going to happen and what was not going to happen. They wanted to see me in jail, and they didn't care how much their criminal activity or enterprise or what they had to do in order to accomplish that illegal means.
This isn't Canton, Massachusetts, all right? This isn't like the entire like legal whatever law field or whatever being corrupt and trying to frame this one woman for everything. Okay, this is a community who's mourning the loss or the unknown whereabouts of one of their own, of one of their young ones, one of their own kids. I don't think they're corrupt. They're distraught.
Be paying for this.
And by them, I mean like the entire community, law enforcement and people in the community. I'm not just saying solely their parents or whatever.
Somebody is going to be paying for all of this.
And it's not going to be me. I can promise you that.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. All right, I'm going to try and stream again, but it's going to be really late though. Because I do want to go over more of this. I didn't even watch all of these videos. I started them all, but I didn't watch them in their entirety until now. And the more I watch, the more I want to watch. So yeah, I don't know if that's something I should really share, but it is what it is. So I'm going to try and come back later, but it'll be late. It'll be like probably 1, 2 a.m. or so, my time, Eastern Coast time. Yes, I completely agree, Country Girl Brenda. In my opinion, she's doing more harm than good too. And that's the thing. She's there to self-serve, basically. You know, whatever it is she gets out of being this crime fighter or whatever. She's not making the accomplishments that she wants to tell everyone to believe that she's making. She's not. So I don't understand. I don't even know what she's really getting out of it. I think she's getting stuff that she's believing she's getting out of it, but she's really not. And she's turning everything into a Betty production, you know, and whatever, it's her channel. Her channel should be a Betty production if she wants. But when she shows up there in the community and starts to kind of mingle with them in a sense and work with them or whatever, then it's not her channel anymore. It's not just about her. She's one of many. She's part of a group, you know? So, but she's trying to make it so that she's the head or the focus of the group. And that's not helping anything. That's causing more harm than good. So, but yeah. All right, so that's where I'm at with that. So I'm gonna get going so we can go and do what we gotta do. And yeah, because my stomach's growling too. I do have to work tomorrow, but not until later. So I'm gonna be up late tonight, and I will most definitely come back and stream about this a little bit more. And I do want to talk a little bit about Katie, but oh my God, my stomach is so loud I can hear it. I'm sorry. Someone did ask me though to do an ASMR video of like stomach growling, and well, there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, and look for me later. Bye.